What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video on the channel. We are doing the LUFENIA Plus run of Imperial Resurrection. Emperor just got his final form, and we're gonna fight him today. I am not using the Holy Trinity, unfortunately. I don't really see how I'm able to use Noctis in this particular fight, so I switched in Noctis for Layla instead. And we have Locke, Layla, and Garnet. A totally not broken team. I see this team is perfectly balanced and not broken in any sort of figment of your imagination. In fact, I think this team needs a little bit of buffs. I mean, Garnet doesn't really do a lot of damage. Her buffs aren't that good. And Locke, I mean, he doesn't really bring a lot of utility to the table. Really, the real carrier of damage here is Layla, because Layla is just really good. Yeah, I don't understand why I picked Locke and Garnet. They're not that good. Anyways, the game plan here is just set up my auras as quick as possible and make sure the boss gets a turn as quick as possible so the orb doesn't tick down, and I can keep my turn count to a fair minimum. One really cool aspect about Layla is once she enacts her counterattack, the turns that she warps forward doesn't actually count as turns, so it won't up the turn count. So that's really cool. So my real game plan is I try to conserve the amount of turns I take with my setups and only make my units move when the free turns are active. So we'll try to keep that turn count as low as possible. It can't be 0, unfortunately, because I don't have Noctis, but, you know, I'll take the second best option. So as you can see here, the first 3 turns of Layla, Garnet, and Locke, those 3 turns are going to be free. Those 3 turns are going to not count at all. As you can see, I used one of my skills, and the turn count didn't go from 3 to 4. It stayed 3, and that's going to be my main thing. One thing you gotta watch for, though, when you try to conserve turn counts is if you use an AA skill or an instant turn skill during Layla's turn warping moves, that will actually count towards your turn count. The moves that you use after your instant turn skill or whatever you use. For example, if I use Locke's AA with his turn that he got warped forward by Layla, it will count towards the turn count. So that's why I'm trying not to use any buff skills that I normally do with Garnet, and I'm just trying to use attacks. So yeah, that's gonna be my whole game plan. Sorry if I imploded some of your guys' brains with how much information I divulged, but you know, I imagine a lot of people watching this already kind of know what they're doing. Especially in the servers that I'm in, pretty much almost everyone's more knowledgeable than me in this game. In fact, I'm probably still a noob. I've been at this game for only a year, so. But yeah, if you do have questions, though, if you have questions, anything about my run, about my strategies, about my method of attack for these bosses, make sure you comment down below. I'm always reading comments. I'm always liking comments, so don't feel pressured at all to comment anything, even if it's just a noob question, even if it's the simplest question to you, like, oh, what is a tank? Make sure you ask that down below. I do not mind stupid questions at all. So yeah, we're keeping the turn count relatively low, we're at 5 turns, and I prefer to keep it in the single digits because I'm really anal about my speed, but you know, it is what it is. And I think we're gonna use a since the EX isn't active yet, we're gonna use probably an LD next. Yeah, we're gonna use an LD next. Usually, with Locke, I try to link my EX with his Brave attack, Mug, so he can get both buffs in one turn. And the Starfall not gonna do much damage because Layla, on top of having a broken tank mechanic, she actually reduces damage done to the party. So yeah, she doesn't have enough stuff in her kit, in my opinion. Also, I blued her. Mess with me, I blued her. Fuck with me, bro. I don't know if bluing her caps up the party. Even if it doesn't, like, I don't regret it. because I really like how she operates. And if I don't use the Holy Trinity, I'm going to be using her instead. So, yeah. I have all my bases covered with Layla and Noctis. I'm very happy about this. So I think we're going to set up a Sid Rain's Call. I'm going to be using Locke's... BT phase instead of Garnet, and we're going to set up the Sid Rain's Call so we can launch every single time we attack. That's always nice to have. And then it's going to... And Locke's phase, along with Sid Rain's Call, is going to take out a lot of freaking damage. So we're going to use the HP Genji Glove Master Skull attack first, and we're going to be able to do 3 of those attacks. We're going to be able to use 3 of those attacks and to try and maximize as much damage as possible with Locke. And I'm not going... I mean, I could technically do more damage if I didn't use Mug, and I used one of his other skills, his skill 1 instead. But that requires RNG, and I'm not risking anything. I'm just going the safe route. I usually go the safe route with Locke, and I just use an LD or whatever, or Braving EX. That's my main. Those are my 2 main forms of getting that HP attack. So, I mean, Locke already does a lot of damage, so I'm not really that butthurt about not about missing out on some damage. But it is what it is. Got 1.9 million. I'm honestly, it's a bit mid for Locke. He does. I was expecting a little bit more damage, but you know, I'll take 1.9 mil. I mean, I prefer like, you know, like 10 mil at least for one attack, but you know, you take what you can get, right? You can't really complain too much when you have a team like this. We're gonna use an EX, and then for the final non-BT attack phase turn, we're going to use the HP attack again. 1 mil for the EX. That's crazy. That's wild. And then and his debuffs really don't matter because Locke's Brave damage, Locke's BT effect enables the party to do defense ignoring Brave damage, so it doesn't even matter. On top of that, Garnet has so many auras that if you put attack down, like, I'm not even stressed. The only thing I'm stressed about is that it takes up a spot in the buff queue. That's the only thing I'm stressed about. As the effect itself, like, I couldn't care less. We're already at 20% with the boss. This fight isn't that hard. Again, I wish I could have used Noctis, but I really couldn't see how I could have avoided the orb if I used Noctis instead of Layla. So, you know, I cheated. I'm sorry, guys. I know I said I would use the Holy Trinity in every fight possible, but I just didn't think it was possible for this fight. Also, we gotta talk about how Emperor looks. I gotta say, he looks freaking stupid, bro. I would have rather had Emperor in his normal form doing this. Like, why did they give this in this form? He looks so ugly. He looks like a Power Ranger. You know that mega form of the Power Ranger? A mega form Power Ranger, like, who found crack and is now addicted to drugs and is on the side of the street begging money for drugs. Like, seriously, bro? Like, why you look so ugly, dude? Jesus Christ, Emperor looked way more handsome than this. This is a disgrace to the Emperor look. I mean, he was honestly, he was one of my husbandos in Opera Omnia, but I don't know about this anymore, bro. Jesus. He's like Zarbon from Dragon Ball Z. You know when Zarbon was like all sexy and stuff in his first form, but then when he got to his second form, he got all ugly as hell? That's basically Emperor. Emperor, if you think about it, is Zarbon from Dragon Ball Z. It's really, it's a shame to see, man. Like, it's a real shame. I really dislike that Emperor looks like this. He could have been in his normal form and it would have been fine. No one would have complained. I don't think if they used Emperor's normal form in this LUFENIA, everyone would have been like, oh, he doesn't have a mega form. He's too pretty. Why does he look so pretty? This boss is not supposed to be this pretty. Like, Kefka in, I believe, Act 3, Chapter 7, like, he has his regular form. Why didn't you give Kefka his god form? That would have been more of a reason to give him the big form and not Emperor. Does Emperor even have a big form in the original game? Does he? Or do you just fight him regularly? I know Kefka has a god form. That would have been sick. But no, they just use a regular form for Kefka. Why? Use the God form for Kefka and keep Emperor normal, please. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, that's all. That's the end of my rant. Bring back normal Emperor. Hashtag please. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I will see y'all next time.